Hi, my name is Angela Heiser, and today we're talking about emotional bandwidth and how your nervous system uses it and how to reset before you hit the wall. Because, especially now in the lead up to the holidays or the silly season, carefully managing your energy and your nervous system is more important than ever. I was meant to deliver this session last week, and I chose not to. Not because I was unprepared or because I forgot, but because I simply didn't have the bandwidth. My system was an overwhelm. I had a number of things happen that just accumulated. And so I decided to practice what I teach and preach. I paused, I rested, and I let some things go, including a presentation. So today I'm here with much more energy simply because I chose the pause before the collapse chose me. So let's talk about emotional bandwidth and the internal space you have to handle. So this is not about time. This is not about intelligence. It's about space. Because when your bandwidth is low, even small things feel heavy and tight. Sending a quick message, really just a few seconds, can feel like a monumental task. Making a decision can feel like climbing a mountain. And having a conversation can just feel like more than you can handle. And it's usually not the big crises that drain us. It's the constant micro stressors. Like for me, it was just one thing after another until I reached a point where I couldn't answer text anymore. The emotional labor of holding steady when your willpower is gone is one of those. The unspoken frustrations of being nice and fine. And you all know what that stands for, right? Nice is when we are on the way to letting it all go and it's nothing inside cares enough. And fine is feelings inside not expressed. So it's about just fitting in and just conforming. And then of course, there's the responsibility creep, which is also known as the curse of the competent. The more you do, the more you get. The other thing that happens is we hold other people's needs. We feel responsible for them. We don't care about people, we care for them. And then, of course, there's always pretending you're okay. I'm fine. I'm all good. Or avoiding the difficult conversation. I just can't deal with that at the moment. So pushing through when your body is tired and your mind is exhausted. So this is pretty much the time we live in at the moment. So all of these are leaks that drain bandwidth faster than burnout ever announces itself. So I want to talk about how your nervous system reacts when your bandwidth gets low. So I'm going to use a metaphor to cut through the science. I think you may find this interesting. So let's compare your nervous system to a car. And the state of your engine determines how well you can move through life. And of course, different conditions require different ways of driving. So sometimes the road is smooth, sometimes you need more power, sometimes the engine overheats, and sometimes the safest thing you can do is to pull over. And your nervous system works the same way. So the 5 states of how unmanaged stress turns into trauma, as if you were driving a car, is really, really straightforward. But when we know how it works, you can understand what your nervous system is up to and how you can easily respond after you not only respond, but after you've recognized it, you can respond to it. So the first state that should be our normal is the state of being calm, alive. And this is your car cruising with the engine running smoothly. It's steady speed, it's clear road, you feel present, connected, and engaged. And this is where thriving happens. Now, we already shift into survival mode in the next stage, which is called activation. And this is your car in sports mode. So you respond to a challenge, your energy rises, your focus sharpens, and of course, your stress hormones, adrenaline and cortisol, are being released. So this activation also includes the so-called startle, the short-term moments of stress when something unexpected happens, like staying with a car, Somebody honks a horn or cuts you off. Could be in your everyday life, it could be anything. The system is alert, but it's still capable. It deals with things. And then once it's dealt with that, we would normally go back into the calm cruise mode, but these days we often don't. We stay in activation mode and we rev the engine until we hit the proverbial wall. And that's the stage between stress and trauma. So imagine flooring the accelerator and the car stops responding. The engine revs loudly, but the car does not move faster. This is overwhelm. Not stepping and taking the foot off the accelerator results in sliding into so-called freeze mode. And freeze is when you're sitting in your car with the accelerator and the brake pushing down at the same time. So you're sending conflicting signals. The system locks. You want to move and you know what to do, but you just simply can't initiate. So freeze is often mistaken for laziness or procrastination, but it's not either of those. It's physiology. So when you're in freeze, you may feel anxious, worked up, and exhausted at the same time. So your brain is working overtime while you're lying in bed, unable to sleep. So busy mind, flat body. And you keep doing things, but progress is very slow. And the thing that happens is that's what happened before. The focus scattered, even when the task is simple. And what happens to emotions? They feel muted or they feel funnily, oddly distant. So you're awake, but you're not fully there. It's as if somebody dimmed your internal brightness and you start avoiding things that are normally manageable. So the mind races, but the body feels like it's moving through wet cement. And that's the signal that you're not in healthy stress mode anymore. Now your system is trying to protect you. This is the first stage of getting into trauma. And if you keep overriding your body's need to downregulate your nervous system, it will do what it must do in order to survive. So your system is going to decide to preserve as much energy as possible and reduce output to the bare minimum. And what follows is shutdown. And this is when your body and mind have both feet on the brake and pulling the emergency brake at the same time. So there's no more movement, there's no more momentum. Your system has stopped trusting that it's safe to move. So shutdown feels like emptiness, complete numbness, and emotional flatness. So emotions take energy, so the system shuts those down. And it's important to remember that when we're in that state, we're not broken. Body and mind are protecting us. Because here's the key distinction. Stress means your system is still trying to move. Trauma means your system no longer trusts that it's safe to move and just stops it. Recognizing which state you're in, that's the first step towards getting back into cruise mode. And you have to go backwards to get there. So these are 3 steps here that I want to share with you to recover your emotional bandwidth and help your nervous system shift back towards the calm, alive mode. First, name your state. So when you name what you're feeling, you interrupt the overwhelm and it turns into awareness. So for example, I'm activated. I'm about to hit the wall. I feel frozen. Anything like that. So if you feel that you're not coping, awareness is the beginning of agency, the ability to manage yourself. 2, close the energy leaks. Once you've identified how you feel, ask yourself, what am I carrying that is not mine? Give back to people. What expectations have I taken on? What are you doing that's not yours? And especially in the holiday season, the curse of the competent. What conversations am I avoiding? What boundaries have I let slip? So setting and maintaining, that's the crucial part. One boundary can pretty much restore more bandwidth than a weekend of sleep. So when you decide to take a rest and the phone rings, don't answer it. When somebody asks you to do them a favor on your day off, the day you have decided you're just gonna read, rest, nurture your body by eating good food, whatever it is that you're doing that recharges you, you simply say no. And you don't have to apologize. 3, use so-called micro resets. So when we're still in stress mode, we don't need a week or even a day off. Our system responds to quality. So micro resets done regularly can significantly help you. So here's some suggestions. Take just a few slow breaths. Do box breathing. Or step outside for a few minutes. If you can, if you're somewhere near nature, put your feet on the ground, ideally barefoot, and stand for 10 minutes on grass. Connect with Mother Earth and let that connection do wonders for your nervous system. If you really can't move at all, move your shoulders and close your eyes for a minute. Do that at your desk, but close your eyes and don't look at your phone or at the computer. These small resets tell your body you're safe, you can downshift, and that's how you get moving again. So why does this matter? If you wait until your body goes into freeze or shutdown, your body will simply make the decision for you. And your body always chooses the same 3 things: stop, rest, reset. So choosing the pause earlier is therefore not a weakness, it's wisdom. So as you move through the next week and weeks, hoping that you will rest and reset over the holidays, but knowing deep down that you will crawl over the dateline, possibly bracing yourself for an even busier time over the holidays, ask yourself, which state is my nervous system in? Where am I leaking energy? And what tiny reset can I choose right now? So then choose a pause and remind yourself that you're a human being, not a human doing. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for your attention. I'll see you next time.